Tonight on DFI Magic Themes, we're going to talk about ranking a website locally. Well, hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, all around the world. Hope you're doing okay. First in the room was Bob, followed by Barry, followed by Laurie, and I know more and more will pop in the room as we go along. Hope you've all had a wonderful week. It's been busy as ever. Where do the weeks go? I'm kind of glad they're going quickly because it's been very wet here in the UK. We've had lots of floods and kind of been stranded. I live on top of a hill, so I'm all right. Feel sorry for the people in the valleys. There we go. All that, lots more here on DFI Magic Themes live for you. We're going to get going very, very shortly.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Loving it. How you doing, buddy? All right?
I'm doing good. I'm tired. I'm really tired.
I know it's been one of those weird weeks, isn't it?
Week. Yep.
You know, even down to Zoom freezing a bit at my end tonight. I don't know if it's freezing at your end. Did the jingle play all right for you?
Yeah, I didn't hear anything different.
That's all right. It's my end then. I always wonder if things are freezing because it stutters. So.
Oh, you're in the winter
good.
now too, so.
It's blooming cold. That's all I can say. Blooming cold.
Blooming cold.
Yeah. So anything new, Robert? While I just check the groups quickly because I haven't checked them tonight and make sure we are live.
Anything new? Gosh, that's a loaded question. There's always things new. There's always things moving at the speed of sound. You know, it used to be that I had less to do, and now I have. It seems like I don't have enough hands to keep all the different things juggling all the time. But that's my own issues, right? Because I get caught up in the projects, and I still want to help everybody. And as everybody has different issues that they want to get help with, we jump in because that's our first standard operating procedure. Anybody that needs help, we give it to them, and we push the other stuff aside. That's just us. That's our like I said, our standard operating procedure for Done Magic Themes. It's support first. So we've been doing that more and more often. We've talked to some interesting people in the last couple of weeks, and there's so many things that are the same story. And yet there's so many things that are different stories. And it all comes back around to you don't know what you don't know. We beat that kind of to death, but that's where people are. And we're no different because that's where we came from. Right? And that's when we got angry, we got frustrated, and we said, well, no, we're not going to do that anymore. If people need help, they're going to get help. And that's what we're going to do. And that's what we have done. And I think because we do that, people are starting to realize it's a business for us to do this But what drives the business is to help the people get to where they need to go. And, for me, it's like make as many tools as we can to make it as quick and push button simple as we can, which, I mean, you know, without getting really into it, the builds are so fast. Sometimes you want to reach through the computer screen and say, why aren't you guys building 10, 20 sites? There's some people that are. Some people are going at it crazy, which is okay. That's great. That's what they should do. But follow through on them and make sure they're finished, first of all. And I noticed I don't get in the back ends and look around in hosting very often, but I noticed some things this week that like, dang, good for her. Look at that. And dang, good for him. Look what he's doing. And I go, see, that's why they're winning. That's why it's going forward for them. They're putting that effort in. And it's just great to see because you know what? At the end of the day, Stephen and I can just go do this and do it for ourselves and say, don't spend our time doing all this every week, right? Just work on what we need to do. But that's being selfish. Why can we not share what we're doing with the people that should be doing more of it? And I want everybody in the winner's circle. I want everybody getting out of what they put into this at the end of the day. And that's a successful business. That's passive income. That's more clients than they can handle. And I'm hearing that from certain people, right? That's what they have. And it's awesome. So at the end of the day, if we stay focused and we stay committed, you and I, Stephen, to getting the push button projects done, because I locked Stephen in a room for a couple of days this week, and I said, nope, you got to stay on that magic project because it's got to get done. And we have 3 of them that we want to work on, and we're not even going to mention them. We're not going to talk about them until they're ready to be launched, because it just doesn't do anybody any good to wonder if they had that would it make a difference. You got to keep going forward with what you have right here in front of you, because you don't know when the day is going to drop out. Internet's going to change. Something else going to come in like AI, right? Let's roll with what the internet is going to throw at us every week, and let's strive to be better at what we do. And there's no reason why we can't, all of us, be in that winner circle. One thing I can guarantee you before I shut up is you do nothing, you get nothing. That's a guarantee every step of the way. If you take action and you get stuck and you ask for help, you're going to get it. That's a guarantee from us because that's what we do. However, if you don't take action, you don't move forward, you don't start. And like even in the onboarding calls now, when we make them, it's the most important thing is how to get the support. You know how to turn in a support ticket, because that call doesn't exist until you know how to get a support ticket in. And then we set up the other things too, but that's the most important part of that call. Because if you're out there, I've had it many times. I bought stuff I couldn't even figure out how to find support, let alone get it. And then when I did find out what they had, they didn't support it anyway. They just didn't answer. But you have to focus on your goals. You have to focus on your passions. And if you don't, then what are you doing? If you're just going to flounder around and keep buying, that's fine. That makes you happy to be an endless shiny object purchaser, then that's what you will do. And I trust me when I tell you, it gets very expensive and it catches up with you because it's easy to spend and you don't want to be there. You want to get focused to a passion that makes sense and stay with it. I went, I'm sorry, Stephen. I went to Christmas shopping, right? And I'm talking to the owner of the particular store I was in. And I went to see him because he's very knowledgeable in the gifts I wanted to get for my boys. So I went to see him and I was talking to him. And he goes, this is my 12th failed business. I've failed at 12 other businesses before I opened this one. The one he's in now is just booming. And I was like kind of taken back by that comment. And then I realized, I said, the difference of why, in my opinion, is because when you're speaking to everyone on a level of passion. You love this topic, this niche so much. It just spews out of you when you're talking about it. And you get people excited. And he goes, I do. It's like I come to work. This is not work. This is play for me. I play all day long. And that's what he said to me, right? And I'm like, that's the passion that we all need to have. We're going to play all day long at what we're doing. And for anybody to sit at a computer for more than 8 hours, right? That's not a job. That's a passion. You're in this to do something, and that becomes your passion. So what is your passion? What are you going to do? And what are you planning for? That's what you guys really got to sit down and nail out your plan, because what's happening and what's coming up, Stephen, I'm going to let you take it from here, but that's what we're planning to do, and we're hoping that we have more and more people that want to do it as well.
Absolutely, and like tonight's subject is about how to rank websites locally. Before I say that, welcome to the meeting, Manny. Always good to have you on board with us. Lots of things coming up. So, we've got a big planning board in front of me. It's been a hard day today, but I wanted to talk about the what people do wrong when it comes to ranking websites. There are other groups out there which I see all the time of someone going, I can get you like 2,000 local citations or 300 local citations, right? And you have to build carefully. It's like building a match page website in the first place. You wouldn't go and put a site up and then suddenly put 2,000 pages up in one hit. Because if you did that instantly, Google's going to penalize you. And it's the same with backlinks. It's the same with your citations. I rank local websites with 10 citations only. All right. And I still build out my citations. So that's, so it's your directory sites, any listing sites, anywhere where you can get a free listing for your site. Just do 10 of them at first. Then do your social media sites and point your website to those social media channels and those social media channels back to your website. And you'll find that will give Google the signals that it needs to eventually give you a GMB, because GMBs are about to come 10 times harder if you register yourself for them. Google are doing the video verification thing now, but I still have GMBs given to me by Google after about 3 to 6 months. And people are going, oh my God, I've got to have a GMB now. I've got to do it right this minute, right now. No, build your site, get good content on your site properly, all right? That's the key to this. And then do your citations, your local business directories, anywhere where you can get a link for free, ideally, because you don't really want to be paying if you're starting out in this. And then do your social media channels. And like I said, point them backwards and forwards. Have a page as well, somewhere on your website, doesn't have to be all that visible, going, many thanks to ABC directories for allowing us to have a listing, or point back to the site that you are getting a link from, because they like you more, they can tell. And so it means that sometimes you'll get a priority on the site because you pointed it back. Don't have to have the page visible on a menu, just have to be on your site. So it's you got that lovely outbound link going to a directory site, and then the link coming back from them as well means that it goes in both directions, right? Don't trust Google properties alone, because as it's just been said in the chat, they are killing at the moment Gmail accounts if you don't look after them. Paul P said that, all right? So you have to log into your Gmail account regularly. The way to keep it active is you log in, you send an email to another address of yours, and you send an email back. right? But you log in regularly, you check your emails, you delete some, you keep your mailbox tidy with Google, and they're happy with you. If you leave it for months on end, it's going to get shut down. And then you're going to lose access to stuff. You can have all sorts of problems, which is the last thing you want. So this is the key thing for you, is to make sure that you take your time when building a site. I've got a client who went out and bought 5,000 backlinks on Fiverr. His site, I'd already got his site to page 1 of Google. I'd done a lot of hard work doing SEO and other bits and pieces. And I mean, this happened 6 months ago, mine. And overnight, he killed his site. He went out and bought these backlinks from Fiverr. And his site dropped to page 17 of Google. And he phoned me up and goes, I've dropped to page 17 of Google. I said, you're on page 1. What are you doing? He said, well, I did buy some backlinks. And he showed me where he bought them from. And I went, well, you killed your site now. I said, you need to go to that Fiverr guy and get him to take them all down. But the problem being, 5,000 odd backlinks isn't going to be an easy task to get them taken down. And he's not going to do it. No. So in the end, we bought a very similar domain name for him. And I had to redo everything for him again, cost him money. And he's finally just getting to the bottom of page 1 of Google again. And he's learned his lesson. When you go blind with these things, you can do harm. Right? And this is what frustrates me, when you see people online selling 250 citations, local citations. I'll tell you now, I've looked locally in my area at local business websites. There aren't 250 local websites for the Crewkerne area where I live. There aren't 250 websites in Yeovil for citations. So how can you claim to allow 250 local citations? I just don't get it. I don't get it personally. So you just need to make sure you go careful, build your site slowly. And when it comes to the location pages, which is why we say, build your site, let it linger, let it sit online for a while, let it stay there, do all the other stuff first. And then last of all, when you build your location pages, start with 10, leave it a little while, build another, then do another 10. With the Magic Location Builder, you can schedule your pages to go out over 6 months. So you can just wait and wait and wait and build it up slowly. But don't go in with 1,000 pages overnight, because I'll tell you now, bye-bye domain, bye-bye.
So wait a minute, Steve, because you went off on a tangent there. For people that are watching this that have no idea what a location page is, first of all. Second of all, that availability isn't as easy to have, right? But if you want to rank a local website, give it to me straight. Give me the top 3 things I need to do right now, Steve, because I don't know nothing about how to rank a website.
Number 1, build a website with good content on. And make sure the content's related to what people search for. We've shown this many a time on Google. When you go to search on Google for your, let's say, plumber, as an example, boiler repairs, right? And up comes Google, and there's searches for things other people are searched for on Google at the bottom, right? Take those searches and create pages. You can copy an existing page. In WordPress, there's page duplicator, duplicate a page, change the content on it to be related to that keyword, and make the page live, right? And leave it, right? And do the same with some other keywords. Do that gradually. And when you're happy with the keywords that you are going for, right, then go out and start submitting it to local directory sites. That's the second step. Anywhere, and not necessarily directory sites, but you may have, there may be a website in your local area, you know the person who runs it, and you go to them and say, any chance I have a link on your site? And if I give you a link for a link, and they say, what benefit will that do us? I say, well, if I put a link on my site to you and you do the same, it will help boost you up, because it's a local business sharing another local business link. Put a blog post up about another business on your site, especially your agency site, which we supply. You can easily do chat GPT, write me a blog post about this business. Done. Paste the blog post up, backlink to them, give them an article which they can post on their site, a backlink to you. All right. And do that gradually. in your local area. That way, then that'll start pushing you up even more in Google's eyes. Google loves two things: content and being local. And if you've got that advantage of being local, you will beat, hands down, the big boys who pay to be at the top in every location. I've beaten Yellow Pages many a time in the UK. I beat, I beat. It's a true story here. There was a handyman in my area, and I'd been down. What happened? I'd been down to an event in Crewkerne, a business event, and this guy was stood at the front going, "You don't have to do much. You just need a HTML page put up, and you're fine." His site was awful. So I went and built a WordPress site for handymen and ranked it within a week, amazingly. I got it above his for his keywords on every single search. And it was about 2 to 3 weeks after that, we went back to this meeting again. And he liked showing things off live. So I said, have you got your machine on? Yeah. Well, can you show us your search again, please? He went, yeah, sure. He did a search, and bang at the top was this other website. And I turned around to him and I said, excuse me, can I just ask a question? Well, yeah, whose is that website at the top there? He clicked on it, up came the website, right? And in the bottom, I put my name on purpose. And I just said, I said to him, I said, sometimes you have proof is in the pudding. Now, at the end of the meeting, everybody in that meeting came to talk to me, right? And they got my business card, which I had on me. Shortly after, I had an email from him because I didn't realize he ran the meeting going, please don't come back. And I then realized that he was running the meeting to try and get other businesses into his business to do websites. All of those reached out to me. I did some work for them. I made good money, and that's what that it's just proof is in the pudding. There was a good question in the Rank and Rent Masters group. By the way, thank you, Rank and Rent Masters, everyone who's joining that group. It's growing amazingly well. We're very grateful for every single person who's in there, as well as our Defiers groups. It's just great. But
yes, absolutely.
In there was a question in there, and I'm just going to go and look for it actually because I can't remember the exact wording about people always worry too much about some stuff. And I put a post up about what do you struggle with the most.
Well, as you say that, and as you're looking for it, what happens with everybody, right? Is everybody has an opinion. This person, that person, the next person, 6 more people, they all have the answer. They all are going to say something different to get to the end goal. Because in most cases, they're leading you into what they're doing. They want you to come get something from them. But at the end of the day, when it's overthought and oversimplified sometimes, I mean, just looking at the Rank and Rent business models on YouTube alone, you have everybody doing similar but completely different things all at the same time. And when you don't know what you don't know, right, you're getting involved with things and you're wondering who's right. So you start getting confused and you start to not want to move forward because what's that phrase? Analysis by paralysis or paralysis by analysis. Because you can't think anymore on your own. You're listening to too many opinions. So you can't get a direction to go. And that's why Steve and I are it's the same thing, just build your site first. Now why do we take the time to build a Done For You Magic Themes for you? Because it'll save you 3 to 6 months minimum from your first build of figuring all that stuff out. And you can build it in 15 minutes. That's what we do. Now, as you're getting started, you don't understand all of it. But as the puzzle pieces start to come together, as you're going through the build, as you're going through the training with us, that's where you figure it out. And that's where you can move forward. So what Stephen is, that knowledge that he has been through over and over and over again is priceless. And that's what he shares in the training. That's what we do in our training on the back end. We share what we've learned the hard way because we don't want you to go through that. Go ahead, Stephen. I mean to jump on you.
Yeah, that's okay. One of the questions, because I put in the Rank and Rent Masters group, What do you struggle with the most in rank and rent? Comment below. Right. And we had All in SaaS is the name on the account. Rejection from existing businesses who have been scammed or ripped off before by another agency. Overcoming the trust and authority factors. When you're new, I found these to be the hurdles. And it's very simple, right? Offer something free. You know, an example that I would do is I'd build a website to rent out, and I'd contact a local business. And if they give the argument, I've been burnt before, right? You go, okay, how about I give you a 3-month trial of this website? Go and sign up now, right? And we're talking 3 months' time. And in that time, you want to be pushing emails from an autoresponder system where day one it goes, hey, thanks for coming on board. Don't forget to add this new URL to your Facebook group, to your Google My Business listing, to your emails, wherever it may be. Share it with your friends, right? If you struggle with any of these things, please reply back to this email, and our team is on hand to help. When they reply back, you say, I'll help you get on your GMB. I'll do that one for free. We normally charge for it. I just need to be able to log in. You log in, you add it. It's on there then. You know, it's little things that you need to be doing to help yourselves in this rank and rent business. But when you offer, if I phoned you, Robert, right, and let's say you're a handyman, and I go, ring, 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 ring. Hello, Robert. I'm from SB Leeds. I've got a website for you. Would you be interested? And you come back and go, well, I've done website stuff with people before, and they've done no good for me. I spent a lot of money. Well, how about if I give you access to this site? We'll set the site up for you, and we're going to generate leads for you, and we're going to do that free for 3 months. Right? After 3 months, Robert, if you've got leads coming in, would you be interested in carrying on? Now,
I'd be interested,
no,
but I'd want to know more. I'd want to know if there's a contract, and I want to know what the pricing is.
Yeah.
You know, these are things that as a business owner, they're going to ask you.
And you can have those questions ready. I'm doing a very quick example, you know, on based on this question. All right. So the thing is, then is once you got someone hooked with some free calls, they say no, they're mad. Every single person who I phoned up and I've gone, let me send you some calls for free. They go, yes, please. Absolutely. And the thing is, it's the old, I say this before, it's the old chicken and egg routine, right? What do you do first when you built a site? Do you send a lead somewhere, or do you just receive them and hope you can find someone who will take them? You know, it's that chicken and egg situation. But what I always say is, get your site up, ring a company up, make sure they answer the phone, just say, sorry, I've got the wrong number, put the phone down. Send all your calls to them for free without them knowing at first while you push the site up and do some other bits. When you're happy with the number of calls coming in regularly, phone them up and go, I've been sending you some calls for free for my website. It's a new website in the local area. It's ranking already. It's getting calls coming in, right? Would you like to receive some more free calls over the next couple of weeks? And then go quiet. They always go, well, yes, please. Okay. Well, we can then switch on the call whisper, which means it's going to be from Crewcon Web Design. When you hear that message, stay on the line, please. Don't hang up. It's not a spam call. If you do get any sales calls, please make a note of the number or the time of the call and let us know so we can block them. And so that way, then what you do, then you say, can I take an email address down I can contact you on? I'm going to send you an email with confirmation of what we're going to offer you. It's all going to be in there, what you're going to receive over the next, couple of weeks. And you lay out exactly what they're going to get for nothing for a few weeks. Once they trust you and they're happy with what they're receiving, then you go back to them and go, would you like to continue receiving these? It's going to be this much per month for the site. And the reason I prefer to rent sites rather than do pay per leads on that side is it's a damn sight easier. You know, if they're receiving, let's say, a couple of calls a week, and at first they're paying you a couple $100, but they win business, they're going to be happy, And then as time goes on, as you get more and more calls in, and more calls for actually go onto that Twilio number, and you can prove the stats, so you can go back to them and go, I've got someone else interested in this site. And that's why I don't sign them up in a contract at first, because I can get out of it if there's no contract, I say, okay, you don't want to continue receiving them for a bit more money, not a problem. I've got someone else lined up. I'll give the call to them. By then, you're receiving 5, 6 calls a week. And I've had people in the past that they've cancelled with me. I've turned the phone calls off, given it to someone else, and within a day or so, they phone me up and gone, actually, I've changed my mind. Why have you changed your mind? My phone's gone dead. Oh, so you want to keep receiving calls from us? Yeah, you got to pay the full price now. Well, what about the discount price you offered me on the phone? Well, that was there and then, not now. You're now coming back to me, and I've got someone else lined up at the full price who wants this. So if you don't want it, that's cool. If you don't want it, that's cool. Not a problem. Never be over keen as well to want to sell things at a low price. Every single defier in our inner circle group, you're worth far more, right? So always discount something rather than go, I'll build your website for $500, right? No, if you're going to build them a website of their own, it's a few $1,000s, right? If you're going to rent a site to them, you say we normally charge $500 a month. I'll do your discount for the first few months at half price because we've given you some calls for free already. So you know we are the real business and we'll move forward. And I very rarely, but so I do have terms and conditions, but I very rarely, like, no refunds and stuff like that. But generally speaking, the way I do things is I don't hold them in a contract because if they leave, guess what? There's no skin off my nose. I'm going to rent it to I'm going to give it to somebody else. And the moment you turn those calls off, they hate it. They absolutely hate it. It's like missing out. It's like if like next week, right? If I did a live for you, right, and all the wonderful people that are inside here right now in our inner circle, I said you can't come in next week, but we're going to talk about something really special, right? Just put one in the chat, guys, if that would frustrate you, not knowing what we're going to talk about, because I know most people will put one in the chat. You guys, Laurie, we got Barry, Paul 1.9. He had to be awkward, but you can see where I'm coming from, right? When you're going to miss out on something, it's like, at Christmas, you have a few glasses of wine, right? And you're watching that film that you've been waiting all year round to watch. Maybe it's Home Alone, I don't know, right? But you're halfway through, you doze off, and you wake up to the bloody credits at the end, and you missed that film or that program, and it's the same feeling where people, very frustrated, so people get frustrated because it's something that they want, they really, and this is a service they want. And if you can excite them about it, it gets even better. Sarah says FOMO, fear of missing out. I love it. I love it. So, and we've all done this, right? People are in this group, people are the defiers have all done this. Up comes a fantastic offer in an email. You click on it, you go and look at it. It's the bee's knees, and it's only $27, and you buy it. Then there's an upsell to get the unlimited version, and before long you've gone for an entire funnel and spent $5K with them. But it's if you don't buy now, the offer's gone. Well, guess what? If you go back to the page 4 months later, the offer's probably still going to be there. Unlike what myself and Robert do when we take down an offer, it's gone. I had someone email me the other day wanting to get in on a lifetime plan. I said, it's gone. He said, you're turning down that money? Yeah, because we have to stick by it, because it's unfair on people who got in at the time they did. If I turn around and went, well done, you've got in on our best deal ever, but by the way, 3 months later I've let another 10 people in because I left the offer up. It's not fair, And yes, we'll probably do another offer next year or throughout the year. We don't know. We haven't really talked about that too much. But we're always careful on how many people we bring in. We don't want to bring in tons of people into the inner circle and our training, purely because the more people we get in, the more support we have, and we want to look after everyone that's already in.
No, it's much easier. A steady pace is way better than like an onslaught. That's when it gets, and then your service drops. It's like going to the local car garage, right? If he's only got 1 or 2 or 3 cars, he can handle it. But if somebody all of a sudden they get 30 cars at the same day, somebody's going home unhappy because their car isn't going to be ready.
Yeah,
and that's kind of how it is. And we have a lot going on. But that being all said, it's taking action. It's doing the right things, and it's finding someone that you know, like, and trust that you can follow to get your plan in
Mm.
action. I don't know what everybody's plan is, but if you're going to be doing rank and rent, and if you're going to be doing the website builds, you're in the right place
Mm.
because this is what we are doing. This is where we're helping people. And it's not, I'm going to say what we do is the easy part, but what you don't have everywhere else is the support. And that's the missing link all the time for most people. They just can't get past the small roadblocks that come up because they can't get an answer. And if you don't think there's value to that, you haven't been stuck long enough trying to do something that you can't figure out and get an answer to. But it happens all the time. And once you're stuck and you can't go forward, that's when you
Mm.
normally go buy the next shiny object because you think it's easier. And
Mm.
that's wrong. That's what's wrong with the internet marketing system in general. It's a broken wheel of buy the next thing, buy the next thing, buy the next thing. So,
Mm.
and you know, we always said we're going to be the in between of technology, internet changing, and it's changing the speed of light here lately with AI. And in full transparency, we had a little bug, and it frustrates me sometimes to the point of how can that happen? It was just working fine, but we can't control everything that goes on out there.
Mm.
Third-party softwares and third-party vendors and things that come into play affect what we do and what the services that we give. And when I can't do something myself, it's just like you guys. When you're going to do something and you can't get it done because something is out of your hands, you get frustrated. Same thing for me, same thing for Stephen. In fact, we take it to the next level of we have people counting on us. So when things aren't working right and we know they're not working right, we want to get them fixed faster than you guys do. In many cases, you guys don't even know there's an issue. But because we're in it so much, we see things going on and
Mm.
we we put out the signals quickly to say, get what's going on with this? Why isn't there? And we just rip some new ones every once in a while because it's important to us that everything functions fully all the time. Does it
No, you're right.
every day.
Mm.
Every day there's something new that comes up that changes.
I'm just going to quickly read out some comments that have come in online. Um, Emil Max says, let it marinate. So that's when we're talking about when you set a website up, just let
Mhm.
it linger, let it hang around for a bit, build another one. That's what I always say. Build one, get it online, get it done. Build another one, get it online, get it done. Build 5 or 10. Once you've got so many built, don't go mad. Don't build 30 and then have to work your ass off sorting them all out. Maybe build 5 and then at that point do all your citations and then see which sites are doing better. Add some additional pages with keywords on, and do the SEO on them and let Google marinate them to move up gradually, more naturally, because the long game is the old tortoise and the hare routine, right? The tortoise wins every time. If you rush things, then it's going to be a lot slower. Emil Max says, what about reviews? Now, in the rank and rent business, if someone signs up and you've sent the leads directly to somebody else, how I handle that is I set up a sequence of emails that basically someone would fill in a form. The form would be forwarded on to the person renting the site from me. I would also, and this is a little cheat I do, I get a GMB set up at my client's address for the new site that they're renting from me. All right. And what I do is I say to them, if you set this GMB up and help us set it up, we'll give you a month free. and they go, "Wow, that's generous." And then, because if it's a plumber, you have to do a video. Then what you do, you contact the plumber who's renting the site from you. Say, "Got to do a video. If I come down, can I be next to your van, right? In your location, one Saturday, I'll come round to you, and I'm just going to literally walk from your front door to the van. The video's not going live online; it's only for Google. And I'll have the back of your van open. I'll just walk from your house to the back of the van, talking on it with what they want, and I'm done. That's the way around that part. And then you own that GMB at that client's address. Now, I did get asked by somebody, what happens if there's already a GMB there? Well, you just put Suite 1 as the address on there, right? Yeah, in my home address, I've got 2 web businesses running. Google hasn't penalized me for that, and I've got 2 GMBs running, different phone numbers, but they could be 2 different businesses at the same address. Google doesn't penalize you for that. What they do penalize you for is if I was called Steve's Web Design, right, and I put on my GMB Crewcomb Web Design, guess what? I'm going to get my hand smacked because you're not allowed to do it in the terms and conditions. But because my business is called Crewcomb Web Design, I'm allowed to put it up. There's not a problem with that, I'm just going to read down to a couple of other Facebook users. Says how to index citations. Citations index themselves, because if you do a link from a social media channel, it's such a high PR site that it's going to get you good backlinks. And then when it comes to the local directories, they get indexed naturally by Google. You've got to stop worrying about the what ifs. It's taking action. Build a bloody site, for crying out loud. Get content on there with great backlink, great terms, great keywords.
Related content
Yeah.
to the niche. You got to focus, and this is what's hard for people. You have to focus on not only what people are going to read, but you're going to have to focus on what Google spiders are going to look at on that site. You got to give Google all the signals to say, this site is about this niche in this location. And when you nail down all the related terms and all the related topics to that niche that you're going after, let's call it blue widgets in London, you have to tell Google that's what that site's about. And if you're not saying blue widgets in London in the right places at the right frequency or density, then you're not telling Google the right signals. So this is all a planned action to get sites ranked. But in reality, it boils down to the basics. So if you want to rank a site in London, the keyword in the London location, London is a big city. That's a very competitive thing. And not that it frustrates me, it's kind of, people are not understanding what rank and rent is. And there's so many different theories behind it. They oversimplify it and say if you get the right term in the right location, you can rank anything. Well, that's true, because you can rank a one-page site for a keyword in a location that has no competition. And that's a theory out there. You go out and find out these areas with a keyword that there's no sites built for. And then that's what you build it for. But you're not playing the long game. You're playing that day's game. And that's why we build different. We build sites with so much content, there's no question what it's about. There's no question that it's related to the topic and the niche and the city, the location. So as you get into this, you're going to start asking yourself, what is it I need to do? What do I need to focus on? And get the parameters written down of what you're going to go after. We know, like after doing this for 3 years, building these sites, they rank out of the box. And can I guarantee that? No, I won't guarantee that, because I don't know what you're going to do to it, and I don't know what location you're going to go after. But most rank and rent industries are going after populations of like 100,000 people or less. And they're keeping it very low competition, and that's what they do. we're always advising the best things you can do in your business to go after and rank. And we're coming back on the backside with the power, with the hammers that'll drive that site up.
Yeah.
But there's so many things that we can get into. It's hard to do it all in one call.
I will always say as well, Paul says, does it need to be pages or posts? Right. When you're looking at keywords on Google, other related searches, I always do pages, right? When it comes down to wanting, and the physical pages end up being the main indexed item on Google. So if you're going to do boiler repairs, do a page about boiler repairs, but then do posts related to maybe an article about fixing boilers and the reasons why, and then a little bit at the bottom say, don't try and do it yourself. You know, if it's an electric boiler, we're here to help. If it's a gas boiler, you're not allowed to touch it. So we're gas certified. If you want it, if you've got gas certified people signed up with you, that's the other thing. If you're going down the plumber's route, make sure that they have the certificates and say to them, we need to see a copy of your certificates to put on the website. That way, then we know that you are renting a site from us and that you are an official person certified to do what you need to do. Don't want to get your hand smacked, you know. But posts are more like, for an example, you know, you could put a post up saying, we went out to Doreen's house this week. Thank you, Doreen. You made me a nice cup of tea. Oh, excuse me, made me a nice cup of tea while we fix the issue with your boiler. Hope you're satisfied, right? And then send Doreen a link, and Doreen will go on and put a little comment on the post going, yeah, many thanks, guys. Done a grand job and left the place tidier than it was before you turned up. You know, something like that. That's the nice thing about posts. I just want to say, Rick Elwood, I wasn't sure what you meant by wow. I've never been asked for Dosh to leave a comment before, but a great way to make money. Hats off to you. I haven't got a clue what you mean by that, mate. We do read out comments from Facebook and YouTube, and we don't charge for it. So I'm not sure what direction he went from that. He said, Azani says, I'll be back, all the best, guys. So unless it's a comment I made earlier and something I missed, but it's all cool. Before we sign off from the free groups, it was, is there anything you want to bring up about the Defy program briefly? And we'll keep it to like 5 minutes, and then we're going to go in the circle only with some extra tips and tricks.
Well, you know what? Here it is. Like, we've been back and forth with looking at how we can help the most. And that is why we created the Defire program when we did a year ago, is to get you started. You know, the biggest thing for people is to, you know what, to get their own confidence up high enough to say, I think I can do this. We need them to say, I can do this. I will do this. But the Defire deal was put together in such a way that we would give them the full agency site, right? It was $497 when we offered it last year, with all the training and to get that site built, right? To build any kind of website in what we do, there are thousands of dollars. There's lots of time involved in them. And the Defire agency site is an $8,000 to $10,000 website to build that, if you had to pay for it. But that's not the point of it. The point of it is to get you started and have a 24/7 sales lead generator of your own, showing demo sites of the things that you're going to be able to offer, even if you can't build them, right? Because you don't have to. They're already built in the DFY Magic Themes library. So we looked at it again and we said, how can we help more? Because sometimes people can't come up with $500. And we looked at it and we said, we're going to change the model just a little bit more, and we're going to offer it at a monthly fee, but we're going to give them more builds so they can start a business for $197, and that gives them the agency site plus 10 more builds. And that's what's currently on the website. You can do that. So if you are looking for a model that works for you, there it is. And it's the lowest cost possible, where you can still have, and this is where we're going next year into the accountability program. So who on the call here would like to have 10 rank and rent sites up in the first 60 to 90 days of 2024?
Put 2 in the chat if you want that. Stefan, Richard, Barry. This is awesome.
So do you guys think it's possible to build more than 10 sites in 30 days using a Done For You Magic Themes website?
Richard says yes. Stefan says sure. Bob says 1. Paul B says 2 and yes. Barry says yes.
So because they see what the builds take, they also know the back end that there's more work. And what we're looking to do here is fill the library online to have 10 niches up for your local area. You guys become, and this is what we're going to get into, we're not there yet, the location domination system for all the niches of your area. And that's what those sites are going to do in the accountability program. Well, what's the accountability program? It's us working with you guys directly and saying, we're going to get this done in this time frame. We're going to do this in this time frame. We're going to do this in this time frame. Can we make you get up and, have breakfast and get dressed? No. But we can say every time we have a call, and it's psychological warfare. That's what it is, guys. It's psychological warfare that we're playing with you, that you're going to have to come on that call the next week and say, I got my homework done. No, the dog ate my homework. Something's going to come up with why it did happen. But we're pushing for everybody to have these sites built, because that's the answer, to have the assets in place on the Google Calendar, because we want them ranking. Now, in all transparency, we don't teach build, rank, and rent. We teach build, rent, and then rank, because we want you guys in money as quick as possible. And then when you rank it higher and have more location pages, you can charge more for that site, because it's been on Google Calendar long enough that it is ranking. So go out and do it the way that makes the most money for you guys. And that's what we're going to do in the accountability program. So if you're interested in that, we're going to be posting stuff about it. The big thing here is the front end of the accountability program is free. However, the requirements are you're going to have to be able to build the 10 sites. And if you want to build them brick and mortar the old way, that's a task. If you want to build them the quick and fast way, that's a Done For You Magic Themes website. So if you have access to that, you can get into the accountability program, and we're going to get 10 sites built. I'd like to see it done in 60 days. But I'm going to try to put the parts in a way that not everybody's schedule can be as open as others. So it has to all work on your timeline. And at the end of the day, what happens if you don't build them in 60 days and it takes 90? It takes you 90. It's not going to change one way or another, but we're going to get them on the Google Calendar ASAP, starting in 2024 in the second week.
So the accountability program, we're looking to start in January. We'll be making announcements as soon as we can with a sign up. And just to say, if you join the program, right, and you feel overwhelmed at building 10 sites in that amount of time, get one built. The amount of people who don't even get one built, like, get over that hurdle of getting your first site built. That's the key to this. Bob says 10 sites, more like 6 days if you take your time. Yeah. So it's super duper excited about this. I could use a swift kick in the arse. So I think we all could do sometimes. You know, and
I'm telling you,
I need it. I totally need it.
Got a question. Sorry.
I'm done. It's okay.
it's 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 uh it's psychological warfare. It's
yeah,
when I say to Stephen, I'm not talking to you today until you get in there and spend some time getting that secret project done, because we got to get that done first. And for both of us, we like to chat about all the things that happen, right? But at the end of the day, we know what has to get done. And
Yeah.
it's psychological warfare, because he's my accountability partner. And he says to me, well, do you think you're going to have this done by da da da? And I'm like, yeah, because I'll do it for him, but I won't do it for me. It is psychological warfare, because an accountability partner, any being accountable to anybody except yourself, you'll do it. If you have to be held accountable, like, things have changed a lot through the generations. But 50, 60 years ago, for a kid, if they didn't get their chores done, they didn't get to play on the weekend, right? Nowadays, it's a different story. Nowadays, it's how much money are they going to get when they get their chores done. And they get double or nothing, even if they didn't do the chores in many cases, because everything has changed. But being accountable gets stuff done. And that's why we're going to create this. We're going to push it to the limit. What happens if you don't do it? Nothing. You're just shortcutting yourself from being ahead in your business by not doing it. And I think everybody coming in, like, to the meeting and saying, got mine done, got mine done, got mine done, is inspiration for everybody else to do it.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's about, getting it done as a community and push this forward. We can't get to the winner's circle, all of us, or any of us, if we don't work at it.
Yeah.
Right? We'll be no better off than we are right now if we do nothing in the next 60 days.
And Eric sent it direct this message to me, but is the calendar just the accountability and timing part? The idea of the whole course is we're going to build, right, to show how quickly it can be done ourselves. And it's down, you could, if you want us to make you accountable, we will. And, when because we're going to do a live meeting once a month, where we're going to get everyone together, but we're going to be going live inside the accountability group regularly to share stuff with people and say, this is what we're doing, this is how we're doing it. But we won't have everyone inside the Zoom room. We want you guys to come along and comment and be involved. And then what we do a Zoom room once a month where we get everyone in and say, how are you doing? Where are you at? Right. And when you're in a group of people and you've got someone going, well, I just built me 10 sites, I've got it all done. Right. And you see and then more and more people do that. It lifts you up, because you go, well, if they're doing it, so can I. I've got to get it done this week. I've got to boom, 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 boom. Right. And it encourages you to do it. And if you don't do it, I always say this, there's only one person in life who can hold you back, and that's you, nobody else. If I went through my school life being told that I'll never aspire to anything, I'll end up working in a supermarket, which nothing wrong with working in supermarkets, by the way. But the point is I was always knocked down. Right? I was always told, apart from one teacher who reckoned I'd be a millionaire by now, I'm not, but that's by the by, But the point is I still remember that one teacher believing in me. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have gone on to learn properly and do better at school. And he quietly said to me one day, he said, I know teachers have been nasty to you. He said, take no notice of them. They're the ones that are insecure, not you. I know you can do better. And he encouraged me to do better. And I can't remember his name. I wish I knew who he was. I'm forever grateful to him, because he really did encourage me in the right way. And I wish, when I see my kids at school now, the teachers try and encourage their children as much as they can. The life's changed for schools now, which is a fantastic thing. And that's why we do these live calls regularly, because we want to encourage people. We want to say, take action. Don't hold yourself back. And when we do these accountability meetings, right, and we do the accountability training, we want to be saying, look, me and Robert just built another site. We've done another site. We've done another site. Now, where are you at? Because we can build them quickly, right?
And you
just
can,
need, Yeah, you
That's
can
the
do
thing,
it.
though. You can do it as quick as us. We're giving you all the tools, right?
Yeah.
We shortcutted everything. So I don't care if you're brand new and you haven't even bought a domain name yet. You can be in that accountability program. You can take action, and you can build not only the first agency site, but you can build 10 more niches. It's just access to having the websites through Done For You Magic Themes. If you don't have them, that's why we have a $197 a month package. You can get all 10 right out of the library. If you want to build them by scratch and do them the hard way, that's okay. But how much time and effort does that cost you doing it the hard way to get a site built? And is it going to have the content and all the structure that it should have to get you where you want it to be? The winner circle is having the 10 sites built on the Google Calendar ASAP, so they're getting aged before we go into the real secret weapon behind all of this, which is the location domination pages. And that's where we're going to go to on the second half of the accountability program. But we got to have sites built and then add to them. That's where it's going, guys.
Now, hold that thought, Robert, because we're going to go to the inner circle, because I'm going to share some other ideas of how to get customers inside your pocket, a very quick way that I do. And we've got the theme that can help you do that as well. But I want to keep that for the inner circle members. So everyone who are watching the lives, right, if I switch to this view, right, these are all the people who are with us on the inner circle. And if you want to be part of it, you have to go to dfimagicthemes.com/live for you. In the meantime, we are going to switch over to the inner circle only, and we'll catch up with you all same time, same place next week.